Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sagana Raghunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganavita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishubhanu Sitai Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Dinatarini. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We'll continue the study of chapter 10. So in the 9th chapter, last verse, as I mentioned, is a very important verse. Manmana bhav madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. So that tells the most important lesson of the chapter, which is to always remember Krishna. Manmana bhav madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. Mamevaishyasi yuktaivam atmanam atparayana. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to know. So this is the summary of this 9th chapter. But the main point is, Krishna says, always think of me, become my devotee. To always think of somebody or something, what do you need? If you have to think about somebody,
love. We should know about them completely.
Yes, you need to know. You need to have some affection. You need to have knowledge. You need to have knowledge about that person. So that is the summary of this chapter, the goal of this chapter. Because we need to meditate, that is a process given in 9th chapter. To think about Krishna, we need to know the opulences of Krishna, on which a devotee can fix their mind, and how to remember him when we see opulent, powerful, and beautiful things in creation. But also it teaches, whenever we see great things in this world, do not think that they are independently great. They are great because they have origin in Krishna. Everything actually comes from Krishna. So everything great in this world should not be seen as independently great, but rather it should be seen as energy or expansion or coming from Krishna. Chapter 9's conclusion is, one should become a pure devotee of Lord by focusing mind on the Lord. Chapter 10's goal is focus on the description of Krishna's opulences. By hearing, it will increase our devotion. So it has 3 sections, very simple chapter. First 7 verses. It teaches how Krishna's position as the origin of everything, how Krishna is the source and sustenance of everything, in the words of Krishna. And then there are 4 verses, 10.8, 9, 10, 11, 4 verses. These are the most important verses in the entire Bhagavad Gita. It's called Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. The entire Bhagavad Gita can be summarized into these 4 verses, Chatushloki, and then followed by verses. So once Krishna speaks these 4 verses, which is the Sambam Bhavanam of entire knowledge, Arjuna's acceptance and his request to show opulences. Arjuna accepts that, the knowledge given by Krishna, and also he requests Krishna to show his opulences, to show Krishna's opulence. So that is in summary the 3 sections, summary of this chapter. Any questions so far? Okay, we'll move on. So you can read after me. 10th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Bhuya eva Mahabaho.
Bhuya eva Mahabaho.
Shunu me paramam vacha.
Shunu me paramam vacha.
Yatte ham priyamanan manaya.
Yatte ham priyamanaya
Vakshyami hitakamayaya.
Vakshami hitakamaya.
Please read.
Okay, Prabhuji. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Listen again, O mighty Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained."
Srunume paramam vacha. Srunume paramam. Paramam means the highest, supreme. Paramam means supreme. Shrinu means hear me. Just hear me. Shrunume paramam vachaha means the supreme instruction, the highest instruction. How high it is? It is higher than what I have given so far in the previous chapters. Yatteham priyamananya, because you are very dear to me. Vakshyami hitakamaya. It's for your benefit, not for me. I'm not just just glorifying myself. It is primarily for your benefit. If you hear this knowledge, whom does it benefit? It benefits you, Arjuna. Vakshyami hitakamaya. Kamayaya. Yeah, please read. Continue here.
The more one hears about the Supreme God, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. One should always hear about the Lord in the association of devotees. That will enhance one's devotional service. Discourses in the society of devotees can take place only among those who are really anxious to be Krishna consciousness. Others cannot take part in such discourses. The Lord clearly tells Arjuna that because Arjuna is very dear to him, for his benefit, such discourses are taking place.
Lord clearly tells Arjuna because Arjuna is very dear to him, for his benefit such discourses are taking place. Others, if suppose somebody doesn't have any love, is in fact like envious of Krishna, there is no point in hearing about these things because he will become more and more envious. Because Arjuna loves Krishna, like because he is a devotee, for his benefit, such discourses are taking place. Name vidhu suragana.
Name
Vidu
Suragana
Prabhavamna maharshayaha.
Prabhavam
Prabhavanamaharshayah.
Namaharshayah.
Aham Adirhi Devanam
Aham
Adirhi
Adirhi
Devanam
Devanam
Maharshinam cha Sarvashah.
Maharshinam
Inam
Sarvashah.
Sarvasaha.
Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages.
Neither the hosts of demigods, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, all these demigods, nor the great sages. Who are the great sages? All the Saptarshis. Know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. See, everybody comes from me, not even demigods, sages, none of them know, because I am the origin. If something comes from something else, the one that comes doesn't know everything about the source, right? No, originally, if you know the origin of something, you know everything about it. But if you are coming from something, you cannot know the origin of that something. So if nobody knows, how do we know about Krishna? Question. How can we know about Krishna if nobody can, do any kind of research and figure out about the origin and opulences of Krishna?
Because we have Krishna providing that to these gurus, right? So sun god Vivaswan to begin with. So
Yeah.
Krishna is providing that message directly from God. We are getting that through the Guru Parampara.
Yes. So only when the main point is, like you said, Krishna has to give this knowledge. Only if Krishna tells, then we know about Krishna, right? Does it make sense? Because he's the origin. He knows, nobody else can know about him because everybody comes from him. Only if the origin reveals, that is the only way everybody else can know. Right? So that happens through a Guru Parampara. It cannot be randomly speculated or researched. You cannot. So in our modern science, we studied, all of us, right? Big Bang theory. Like, how do you know that Big Bang happened? Nobody has any proof to say really Big Bang happened. It's all speculation. It's one theory. Everybody tries to explain the origin of universe. It's just a speculation. There is nobody could prove. Can anybody prove, like, out of a Big Bang, when an atom bomb blasts, will there be nice creation that will ever happen? So that's how modern scientists speculate that the origin happened. We all studied, we all wrote exams as well, but unfortunately, that is how we are all given knowledge. Unfortunately, but that's not the truth. So, please read.
Here the Lord indirectly says that if anyone wants to know the absolute truth, here I am present as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am the Supreme. One should know this. Although one cannot understand the inconceivable Lord who is personally present, he nonetheless exists. We can actually understand Krishna, who is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, simply by studying his words in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam.
That is the only way to know Krishna. By the words, because the words are given by Lord himself. For example, Bhagavad Gita. When Bhagavatam was given by Parikshit Maharaj. So again, that is coming from Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is again coming in the line of teachers starting from Krishna. So it should be either Guru or Krishna directly. Ultimately, it is Krishna. Continue.
Because most men cannot understand Krishna in his actual situation, out of his causeless mercy, he descends to show favor to such speculators. Yet, despite the Supreme Lord's uncommon activities, these speculators, due to contamination in the material energy, still think that the impersonal Brahman is the Supreme. Only the devotees who are fully surrendered unto the Supreme Lord can understand, by the grace of the Supreme Personality, that he is Krishna.
Yeah. Only devotees who are fully surrendered unto the Supreme Lord can understand by the grace of the Supreme Lord that he is Krishna. Yeah. Yo mam ajam anadim cha
Yo mam ajam anadim cha
loka param
veti
Eti
loka
loka
maheshwaram
asamudhasamapyesu
Asamudha samarteshu
sarva papai pramuchyate.
sarva papai pramuchyate.
He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the Supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undeluded among men, is freed from all sins.
One who knows Krishna as the unborn. Ajam. Ajam means unborn. Anadim means without beginning. Ajam, Anadim. Vettiloka Maheshwara. Maheshwara means the Supreme Lord of all the worlds. Who? Krishna. Who knows me as the unborn, beginningless, as the Supreme Lord of all worlds. He only, undeluded among men, is freed from all sins. Sarva papai pramuchyate. One who accepts Krishna in that way, as the beginningless, as the unborn, as the Supreme Lord of all the worlds, naturally he will not have any sinful reactions on him. Sarva papai pramuchyate. He will be freed. Because not everybody can accept because of their impurities. Even though Krishna is the Supreme Lord, their impure mind cannot really realize that fact. One who realizes, naturally he is free from all sinful reactions. He's definitely purified. Prabhupada describes the nature of the Lord, the words he expands. Yeah. So can you read?
Yeah. Here the Lord is described by the word Aja, meaning unborn, but he is distinct from the living entities who are described in the second chapter as Aja. The Lord is different from the living entities who are taking birth and dying due to material attachment. The conditioned souls are changing their bodies, but his body is not changeable. Even when he comes to this material world, he comes as the same unborn. Therefore, in the fourth chapter, it is said that the Lord, by his internal potency, is not under the inferior material energy, but is always in the superior energy.
The word as I explained, unborn. We are also unborn. We are also soul. But there is a difference. We are born in the material body every time. When Krishna appears in this world, when we don't call Krishna is born in this world. It's called incarnation or appearance and disappearance. Just like sun rises in the morning. Right? We don't say sun is not born every day. Sun rises. Sun appears every day. Right? Sun is always there. Just before our eyes, he is again appearing in the morning, and in the evening he will again disappear from our eyes. Similarly, Lord is always there, self same supreme, and at the appropriate time he incarnates in this world, and it's called appearance again, similar to how we talked about sun. He's always there. He just manifests himself in this world. That's why he's called unborn. For us, it is, of course, we are spiritual. In that sense, we are unborn, but we still, when in our case, we completely forget, we take a new life. We don't have any connection with previous life. That's why we are called born, and a new life begins, a new chapter begins for our life. But Krishna, he remembers everything of his past lives, everything of his past. It's like, yesterday I know what I did, kind of, right? So he comes again. It's like appearance. It's not the same as our being born. Continue.
In this verse, the words Veti Loka Maheshwaram indicates that one should know that Lord Krishna is the supreme proprietor of the planetary systems of the universe. He was existing before the creation, and he is different from his creation. All the demigods were created within this material world. But as far as Krishna is concerned, it is said that he is not created. Therefore, Krishna is different even from the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva. And because he is the creator of Brahma, Shiva, and all the other demigods, he is the supreme person of all planets.
He's the source of all demigods. So that's why he's called Veti Loka Maheshwaram. Buddhir-jnanam asammoha
Buddhir-jnanam asammoha
Shama Satyam Dama Sama
Shama
Shama
Satyam Dama
Satyam
Sama
Dama Sama
Sukham Dukkham Bhavo Bhavo
Sukham
Sukham
Dukkham
Dukkham
Bhavo
Bhava
Bhavo
Bhavo
Bhayam Cha Bhayameva Cha
Bhayam Cha
Bhayam Cha
Bhayam
Bhayam
Eva
Eva
Cha
Cha
Ahimsa Samata Tushtis
Ahimsa
Ahimsa
Samata
Samata Tushtis
Tapodhanam Yasho Yashaha
Tapodanam
Bodhanam
Yasho
Yasho
Yashaha
Yasyaha
Bhavanti Bhava Bhutanam
Bhavanti
Bhavanti
Bhava
Bhava
Bhutanam
Bhutanam
Matta Eva Pritagvida.
Mata
Matta
Eva
Eva
Pritakvida.
Pratagvida.
Intelligence, knowledge, freed from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearfulness, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone.
All these qualities, buddhi, jnanam, asammoha, intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of senses, control of mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, faith, and infamy. So all these actually come from Krishna. These are all various qualities that one experiences in this world. Yeah. So Prabhupada explained nicely, giving the definition of each. So very nice purport. So we should read some of it at least. Continue, Prabhu.
The different qualities of living entities, by they good or bad, are all created by Krishna and they are described here. Intelligence refers to the power to analyze things in their proper perspective, and knowledge refers to understanding what is spirit and what is matter. Ordinary knowledge obtained by a university education pertains only to matter, and it is not accepted here as knowledge. Knowledge means knowing the distinction between spirit and matter. In modern education, there is no knowledge about spirit. They are simply taking care of the material elements and bodily needs. Therefore, academic knowledge is not complete.
So Krishna said intelligence and knowledge comes from me. So Prabhupada defines what is intelligence. What intelligence is? The power to analyze things in their proper perspective. That is the definition. It's not being intelligent if you know how to start a business. That's not intelligence. Okay. Intelligence means understanding what is right in the bigger perspective, right? For example, understanding your spirit soul and acting on the spiritual plane, that is true intelligence. It's not about how you analyze data and how you can make more money or business. That's not really intelligence. Intelligence is from spiritual perspective, really. Whether you can analyze in the proper perspective. Knowledge refers to understanding what is spirit and matter. Knowledge is not bookish knowledge that we learn in the books. It is mainly understanding difference between what is spirit and what is matter. This is true knowledge. Knowledge obtained in the universities with no reference to spirit, that is all mundane knowledge. Krishna is not referring to that here. When Krishna says knowledge, it is really understanding the difference between what is matter and what is spirit. Because the rest of the knowledge is for just taking care of maintaining the body. What is the need of it? I mean, animals can maintain the body also without much effort. If we use all our knowledge and wisdom only to maintain the body, it's not a good use of knowledge. Elephant is living every day. It needs so much food. It is getting arranged. Nature is arranging it. Similarly, cat, dog, they're not studying in universities. They're getting their meal every day. How? Because they just depend on nature. Right? So there is provision for everybody. Just like when mother has children, she makes sure as soon as mother has a child, suddenly the mother's body has milk. Until then there is no milk, but suddenly it comes. How? That is nature's arrangement. Nature is working under the superintendentship of the Supreme Lord. Maya Jakshena Prakriti Suyateva Saracha. Maya Dhyakshena Prakriti. I am the Supreme Father, the master of nature, Krishna says in the last chapter. So Krishna is, ultimately, like mother is arranged with milk. Similarly, everybody is arranged with food. So there is no, that's not really knowledge how to, how to make arrangements for your food. That's not knowledge. That's mundane knowledge that is not really required. I mean, if you have it, that's good, but that's not really knowledge. Knowledge is really the understanding the difference between spirit and matter. That is basically spiritual education, like we are all doing here. That is gaining true knowledge. Continue.
Asammoha, freed from doubt and delusion, can be achieved when one is not hesitant and when he understands the transcendental philosophy. Slowly but surely he becomes free from bewilderment. Nothing should be accepted blindly. Everything should be accepted with care and with caution. Shama.
One second, Prabhu. Freedom from doubt and delusion. Delusion means in this world people are always under delusion. They think that the first thing is they think that they are the enjoyers in this world. Everybody thinks that this is a great place to enjoy. This world is a great place to enjoy. So that is all delusion, because as per the description of Krishna, what did he say? This is a temporary and miserable world. He didn't say this is a great place you can enjoy here. So if your perception is wrong about this world, you always face unexpected reversals in this world, because that's the nature of it. If you have misunderstood the nature of this world, then you naturally get disappointed with everything. That's why people go to depression, because their expectations are different and what they get in the world is different. They are not mentally and physically and psychologically prepared to face this world. Yeah. So, but one who understands the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, the purpose of creation, for them, nothing is bewildering, because they understand everything is happening according to the plan of God. And I'm here to purify myself and go back to God. So once that purpose is clear in the mind, then there is no asammoha, there is no moha. Yeah, so this character also comes from Krishna. Yeah, next.
Shama, tolerance and forgiveness should be practiced. One should be tolerant and excuse the minor offenses of others.
It's very straightforward. One should excuse others. Next.
Satyam, truthfulness, means the facts should be presented as they are for the benefit of others. Facts should not be misrepresented.
One should not speculate. Yeah. Please continue.
The truth should be spoken in a straightforward way so that others will understand actually what the facts are. If a man is a thief, and if people are warned that he is a thief, that is truth. Although sometimes the truth is unpalatable, one should not refrain from speaking it. Truthfulness demands that the facts be presented as they are for the benefit of others. That is the definition of truth.
Next.
Control of the senses means that the senses should not be used for unnecessary personal enjoyment. There is no prohibition against meeting the proper needs of the senses, but unnecessary sense enjoyment is detrimental for spiritual advancement.
Unnecessary enjoyment is detrimental.
Therefore, the senses should be restrained from unnecessary use. Similarly, one should restrain the mind from unnecessary thoughts. That is called sama.
It's controlling one's mind.
Bhava, birth should be understood to refer to the body. As far as the soul is concerned, there is neither birth nor death. That we have discussed in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Birth and death apply to one's embodiment in the material world. Fear is due to worrying about the future. A person in Krishna consciousness has no fear, because by his activities he is sure to go back to the spiritual sky, back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, his future is very bright. Their future is very bright. This fear is a condition of persons who are not in Krishna consciousness. Abhyaham, fearlessness is possible only for one Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, this world is a very tough place to navigate. Right? It's like a child, for example, he has to cross the road by himself. It is very tough. But suppose if he is holding the hand of his father and his father is walking and the child is also walking with him, he is fearless. Child is fearless. Right? So similarly, one who is Krishna conscious in this world, he experiences similar fearlessness because he knows that everything is under the control of Krishna, and as long as he is Krishna conscious, he is taken care.
Ahimsa, non-violence, means that one should not do anything which will put others into misery or confusion. Material activities that are promised by so many politicians, sociologists, philanthropists, etc., do not produce very good results because the politicians and philanthropists have no transcendental vision.
Ahimsa means non-violence. Non-violence truly means do not put others in misery by your actions. Whatever you do, it should not cause misery. Samatha.
Samatha, equanimity, refers to freedom from attachment and aversion. To be very much attached or to be very much detached is not the best. This material world should be accepted without attachment or aversion. That which is favorable for prosecuting Krishna consciousness should be accepted.
That which is unfavorable should be rejected. Yeah.
Should I continue, Prabhu?
I suppose.
Tasti, satisfaction, means that one should not be eager to gather more and more material goods by unnecessary activity. One should be satisfied with whatever is obtained by the grace of the Supreme Lord. That is called satisfaction. Tapas means austerity or penance.
Yeah, continue.
There are many rules and regulations in the Vedas which apply here, like rising early in the morning and taking a bath. Sometimes it is very troublesome to rise early in the morning, but whatever voluntary trouble one may suffer in this world is called penance.
Similarly, we do fasting. Continue.
Similarly, there are prescriptions for fasting on certain days of the month. One may not be inclined to practice such fasting, but because of his determination to make advancement in the science of Krishna consciousness, he should accept such bodily troubles when they are recommended.
Yeah. So one should accept such troubles when they are recommended. Yeah. Continue.
As far as charity is concerned, one should give 50% of his earnings to some good cause. And what is a good cause? It is that which is conducted in terms of Krishna consciousness. That is not only a good cause, but the best cause.
One should give as much as he can, preferably 50% of his savings. And what is a good cause? Ideally, it is spiritual cause, not material cause, not for because material causes like one does some hospital or these things, they are good, but they're only catered to the body. But what about the soul? It's like, suppose a person is drowning and you are saving the shirt instead of the person. What is the use of it? Right? You should save the person. So that's why the real help is when you help the soul. Continue.
Yes. Fame should be according to Lord Chaitanya. who said that a man is famous when he is known as a great devotee. That is real fame. If one has become a great man in Krishna consciousness and it is known, then he is truly famous. One who does not have such fame is infamous.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, so what Prabhupada says is Yashas means really being known as a great devotee is the real fame. Other fames, they may come and go, but nobody really remembers those fame. For example, 1,000 years ago, Ramanujacharya was there in this world. Before that, Shankaracharya was there. They are known, Madhvacharya, Lord Chaitanya. But how many rich people, how many famous people, how many great kings in those times do we know now? Nobody. Right? So in fact, we can see from this, Mirabai we know, but there might be so many great kings at the time, the richest people in the world at the time. Nobody knows about it. So real fame is actually being a great devotee. That is the real fame. It's not for popularity or anything, but in true sense, the real fame is when one becomes a great devotee. In the past, Prahlad Maharaja, Janak Maharaj, or Dhruv Maharaj, they're all great kings, and they're also great devotees. We know them because of their devotion to Krishna. So that is a true fame. Right? Famous because somebody is more rich, like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. I'm 100% sure by the time of our children's children, nobody really remembers. Do we know who was rich like 50 years back? We don't know. That's the, and again, world will keep on, it rapidly changes. If you are rich 10 years back, you're not rich anymore now. 20 years back, somebody else was rich or famous. There are so many actors who are very famous. How many really do we remember? Very rare. So any fame that comes because of material opulences like riches, beauty, or all these things, they're very short term in this world. For generations, Prabhupada will be remembered. For generations, Ramanujacharya will be remembered. For generations, Lord Chaitanya will be remembered because they're acting on the spiritual plane. Anything spiritual is eternal, right? Yeah, it's very simple. So many companies started 50 years back. Where are they now? No. Every company has, again, it's a material thing. Anything material has a beginning, a phase of growth, and then sustenance, producing some byproducts, producing some other companies or whatever, and then dwindling and dying. Look at any other companies are all like that. Most of the things in this world. But a spiritual institute like ISKCON will go on forever. Because that is a spiritual organization. I mean, this Krishna conscious Sankirtan Yajna started 500 years back by Lord Chaitanya. Still continuing. It will continue for 10,000 years at least. So it's like that. Anything, because that's spiritual in nature, it continues to exist for longer period. Maharshaya Sapta Purve
Mahashya
Mahashaya
Saptapurve
Manavastata
Chatvaro Manvastata
Madhava Manasa Jata
Manasajata
Yesham Loka Imah Praja.
Mahapraja.
Please read. Anybody?
The 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them.
Yeah. So the 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages. This is Kumaras, 4 Kumaras, Chatur Kumaras, and the Manus. We're all named after, man comes from Manu. Manushya. Manushya comes from Manus. Manusha, Manu, there are Manvantaras. The whole, within the day of Brahma, there are several Manvantaras. Each Manvantara is led by one Manu. So Ikshvaku is the first Manu in the current day of Brahma. Like that, there are several Manus. Current Manu's period is 7th Manu, I think, currently going on in the current day of Brahma. It is at the noon time right now for Brahmaji. So, so everything comes from, this is the theory of origin, actual theory of origin. It's not like there was a big bang and then initially small, single cell organisms and then multi-cell organisms. That's what we learn in modern science. That is all speculation. Nobody knows because they're speculating with mind. It's just not possible. So here, right? Here it says the beginning is Brahma, right? If you are starting a company, right? For example, will you recruit the CEO or will you recruit the peon? If you're starting a new company, will you recruit a CEO of the company first, or will you recruit a janitor or a peon in the office?
In
CEO.
the office. Peon in the office.
You'll never recruit peon in the office because you want the CEO to run the job, right? So similarly, when Lord Krishna manifests this universe, who is the chief? Who is the chief officer for the universe?
Manus.
No, Manus are second order. Who is the first Jiva in this middle world?
Brahma.
Brahma.
Yeah. Brahma was the first. Comes from the navel of the Lord. He's like the CEO of the universe, right? Once CEO is there, he takes care of further creation, secondary creation. So he's the first assistant of the Lord. It makes more sense, right? So Brahma, the most intelligent being, is born first. And then, just like a company, when you are starting a company, first you want to get the CEO. Under him comes second rung of SVPs or whoever you call. And then under them, they'll again recruit directors, senior directors. So businesses run like that. So similarly, right? And our origin theory of origin is, so first everything started with a single cell animal. It doesn't even make sense. It's like starting at the bottom side. It doesn't work like that in reality, from our own experience in this world. Yeah. So first, great sages and Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. They all come. The second rung of leaders is Manus, and then third rung of leaders is Devatas, and then fourth rung is humans. Right? So and then finally humans they come. First he populates with the most intelligent and most leadership positions of the first. Yeah.
One question here.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, Krishna here, is he talking about a material body or spirit soul?
Yeah, he's talking about
Because
material body here.
material body, right? And Devatas don't have any material body, right, Prabhu? They are like.
Yeah.
They have the metal body.
The metal body, it is subtle in nature. Ours is gross metal body, made of earth, water, air, ether, right? Our bodies are made of Panchamahabhuta.
Right.
Their
Right.
body is made of intelligence and intelligence, ego, and mind. Their body is made of. There are 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements, right?
Right.
Ego and mind. So those are subtle elements. Their body is primarily made of subtle elements. Our body is made of gross elements. We cannot see them with our naked eye. Yes. Their bodies are different. They have only subtle elements in their body.
Okay.
Continue.
The Lord is giving a genealogical synopsis of the universal population. Brahma is the original creature born out of the energy of the Supreme Lord, who is known as Hiranyagarbha. And from Brahma, all the 7 great sages, and before them 4 other great sages named Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara, and the 14 Manus are manifested. All these 25 great sages are known as patriarchs of the living entities all over the universe.
So these are first living entities that are born in the universe. Please read.
Brahma underwent penance for 1000 years of the demigods before he realized by the grace of Krishna how to create. Then from Brahma came Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara, then Rudra, and then the 7 sages. And in this way, all the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are born out of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma is known as Pitamaha, the grandfather, and Krishna is known as Prapitamaha, the father of the grandfather.
Yetam vibhutim yogam cha.
Etam vibhutim
yogam cha.
Mamayo veti tattvataha.
Mama
yo
veti
veti
tattvataha.
So vikalpena yogena.
So
Vikalpena
vikalpena
yogena
Yate natra samsaya.
yujyate
natra
samsaya.
samsaya.
Please read.
One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt.
Krishna says, one who understands these opulences of mind engages in the devotional service. No, one who understands all these opulences, like Krishna is the origin of everything. What does he do? He engages in the devotional service of the Lord. Unalloyed means undeviated, no other side distractions. There is no doubt. Atha samsaya. So one who understands the opulences of the Supreme Lord, he will engage in pure devotional service. So now he will describe the opulences. Yeah. So this section is, this is a very important section. I'll discuss next week. This is the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. Please don't miss. Aham Sarvasya Pada. You should remember these verses also. 8 to 11. 8, 9, 10, and 11. The entire Bhagavad Gita is summarized in 4 verses by Krishna. In these 4 verses. Okay. So let's come back next week. Any other questions before we end up?
So one question, Prabhu. So each universe has its own Brahma, right, Prabhu?
Yes, every universe has its own.
So just now we discussed there are sages, right? So similarly, each universe has these kind of sages, sages and manmantras.
Every universe will have. Depending on the size of the planet, the number of sages differs. For example, it's not the same. It's not universe to universe. The configuration is very different. And the scriptures that are given are also again specific to a universe. Okay. Our universe is actually a medium or even actually smaller size universe. There are universes with 10 times the capacity of our universe in terms of the population and all. That's all described in Bhagavad. Ours is like ours, Brahma is 400 Brahma. There are Brahmas with, the Brahmas, number of Brahmas head is proportional to the complexity of the universe. That's how it is described. And there are universes with Brahma with multiple heads. For example. Several more. So, yeah, every universe is different. Generally, we keep coming back to the same universe. It's like designated for a particular jiva. So we'll be experiencing mostly in this universe all the time. We try to live in this world, the middle world, until we liberate ourselves.
And no jiva can switch from one universe to another universe, or it is possible.
Indeed. Generally, your attachments and everything are, belong to this universe, this planet, like that. So generally, people come back to the same universe because of their attachments again and again to the same universe.
Prabhu, thank you.
Yeah, if no other questions, we'll end. It's 1 hour. We'll connect again next week. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thanks, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.